Hey everyone, Don and Ash here,
Hello.
back for another reaction video. This time we're going to be taking a look at the behind the scenes for the 2019 World's opening ceremony called 10 Months, 10 Minutes. Although the video is 22 minutes long, they lied to me. No, no, I can't wait to watch it, honestly, just to get a glimpse at the work that goes into something, a production like this.
Yeah.
We're really impressed with the 2019 opening ceremony, so it's going to be awesome to get a look, and how it was all put together.
Yeah, they truly did like some really incredible things with that whole performance. So yeah, I'm super stoked to get into it.
Absolutely. All right, let's go.
The opening ceremony is the pinnacle of what fans look forward to every single League of Legends season.
Getting to do this for players, it's really an honor, and it's incredibly motivating to think back to when I first started playing and I watched the show and I was completely blown away.
The thing that unifies all of us is this desire to deliver an absolutely unforgettable experience for players.
The challenge is that we're always trying to figure out how to set the bar higher.
Every year with the opening ceremony, there's a whole slew of challenges, but there's always 1 to 2 that we'll just remember forever.
In 2017, the Dragon wasn't landing on the stadium until the morning of the show.
In 2018, everyone loved KDA, but we had our most public failure.
We had this big idea for a portal, and that broke live on air.
We lost power to the camera and completely ruined the transition into the next part of the show.
It's just a reminder that we're in a live show and anything can go wrong.
The 2019 opening ceremony was our most technically challenging show to date, but the path to success was often unclear, and there were many hurdles along the way.
That's hilarious that the guys in the back like, no!
What's gonna be the thing? What's the dragon? Is it 2 dragons?
We wanted to flip the show on its head. We wanted to give players something completely unexpected.
We wanted to bring our IP to life in ways that have never been accomplished before.
We wanted to depart from what we'd done the previous year. We knew we had the possibility to do some really cool stuff.
We didn't have the True Damage song. We didn't have the World's Anthem. We really were coming up with ideas without knowing how they were actually going to be integrated into the creative of the show.
What if we made the trophy itself this sort of central character that reveals itself at the end?
We had this idea of bringing our music videos to life on stage, but how we were actually going to accomplish that, we weren't quite sure yet.
How do you bring an Echo parallel convergence to life? How do you bring an Aurelia blade dance interacting with people, and how does that stay true to her character in the game?
I remember we started talking about magic.
Holograms in particular was a type of tech that we had wanted to play with, but never really had the opportunity to do before.
It was a way to do magic, but in our way with technology.
When approaching the hologram technology, traditionally it's only viewed from a single point from the audience, but for our show it was going to be 360.
We were pushing the limits of this technology.
We'd seen demos, but we hadn't done it. We'd seen other people's content, we hadn't seen ours. The fundamental question that we weren't going to be able to answer until we answered it was, will this work?
Yeah, you guys let us know it was like holographic technology, not augmented reality, which either way, super cool.
These opening ceremonies are perfect opportunities to take musical experiences to new places and to excite players in totally new ways.
For us, it's just trying to really touch people and also express ourselves in different kind of creative ways.
Awakened, Giants, and Phoenix were all very different genres of music, and figuring out a way to seamlessly transition those was a challenge in itself.
True Damage is really that next evolution for us of moving into continuing that narrative, tying the knot between previous years into this year and potentially showing more opportunity.
It was really exciting to think about True Damage making their debut at Worlds. It was also terrifying because, as with any song, you're not always 100% sure if everyone's going to vibe with it. We really wanted to think about what music would sound like in 5 or 10 years, with a weird mix of languages and sounds, and taking something that's fundamentally hip-hop but infusing it with a lot of unique DNA. We had to keep all of this under wraps, what it sounded like, what the performance was like, and we had to sort of trust that players would follow us down this path into a genre that we hadn't explored yet.
So when it comes to like working with certain artists, we really want to reach out to ones that like kind of get it, right? And are truly invested, understand what we're trying to accomplish.
When they feel like they're inhabiting Senna, when they feel like they're bringing Echo to life, like that is the sweet spot.
And overall, just a cool partnership, a cool experience to do something together, and that's really what it's about for us. So when we had chosen the members of the band, this basically became the time of excitement for us, because the opening ceremonies team then had an understanding of what it was going to potentially look like on stage. It's just, that's where all the creativity just starts to explode.
We keep pushing the limits of what technology can do for us, but that is in service of where is our imagination taking us. Embracing holograms gave us the opportunity to have this action and reaction between our virtual performers and our human performers in a way that we knew was going to be very special.
When we first started investigating how to do this show properly in the round and represent these champions on stage with real live performers, we realized that we needed some very specific technology in order to make that happen.
With augmented reality, there's always this compromise of like, it's going to look great on broadcast, but is it really that compelling in a live setting? And this is going to be really special because we don't actually need that layer of technology through a camera to be able to experience it. There's actually going to be a whole bunch of HoloNet scrims, which you can see here. This set of surfaces should be invisible to the naked eye, and it will be able to capture our projections on it.
In order to make this feel most magical, we needed to hide as much of how it all came together from the audience as possible.
To accomplish that, we had to find ultra short throw projectors, which are in a very limited amount in the entire world.
The first question was, can we get enough to even do this?
With holograms, if the holograms fail, you just have a performer on an empty stage and there's really nothing else to it.
The show was so reliant on the technology. We knew that we needed to stress test it to its max. We got a small test piece that we were able to set up in the LCS studio here in LA.
This is the very first time that we've actually put content intended for the actual show on the technology. Bring out the clothes and see what the clothes look like and what people look like back there with the stuff.
Everyone was so excited to see what this product looked like because none of us had actually seen it in person before.
We learned that lighting was one of the tricks to create the illusion.
Something we learned was that if performers were wearing dark clothes or black clothes, they would just disappear, and certain materials were really distracting behind the holograms.
1, 2, 3. In order to deliver a show that really worked, we had to get the best people in the world at every position.
It's really incredible, all the people who are like legends in their own fields coming together to tell the story of League of Legends and our characters through this hologram technology.
Yeah, so can we talk about the budget though?
Yeah.
We set up a full-scale hologram test here in LA. If for some reason it didn't work, we were so close to show date that we really didn't have any backup options.
It's very difficult to pinpoint very specific problems with specific pieces of content without seeing it
Live.
up there, live, ready.
Not having the projectors is showstopper, for sure. Like, that's not up for debate.
Solutions have been found.
We did a shoot last night with Duckworth, which was great. It was great. And then we're doing prep today. We're doing 3 days of work here, and then we have a full shoot day Monday. And I die Tuesday.
Yeah.
Every time there's wind,
The ceiling is actually moving.
This was one of the largest uses of this technology to date.
We had so many unique gags that we were trying with the technology, and we needed to make sure that each one was playing exactly the way we expected it to.
We were moments away from departure, and all the things that had to get figured out were piling up. We still had to shoot the talent on green screen for their holograms.
That is so crazy. And that's like the craziest thing I've ever seen.
It's awesome. It's going to be great to really bring it to life. I can't wait to sort of inhabit Camille.
This is like reality is kicking in full force right now. You're in it now. There's no turning back.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That's good.
You know, this is the most magical stairs I've ever been on.
Y'all, I can't even express the techie videographer in me that's so like hooked on what I'm seeing right now. I'm like, it may seem like I'm not excited. I am super excited.
It's the moment of truth.
I can't believe how much of a giant puzzle this is just to like, there's so many things that have to come together for this to work.
Departed for Paris, it was this passionate, frantic rush. What can we do to make this absolutely the best? Because we know it can be.
So that we could go. And then on the.
I thought it was okay for it to be
It could be 1 meter away. It wasn't 1 meter away.
No.
Why are we looking at that strong?
No, I know, but you're telling me that the other one is twice as much as that?
So the front edges.
We weren't even in Paris yet, and we knew that we weren't going to get the final piece of content until the day before the show. So,
How nerve-wracking.
1 week to go. It's go time, baby. Let's
We're in
go.
Paris, and we have 7 days to make everything work perfectly.
We knew that we were going to have an extraordinarily tight load in.
In 2018, we had over 2 weeks in the venue. 2 days of tech rehearsal and 5 days of rehearsal. Every minute of delay starts to just remove rehearsal time.
Our production team worked a heroic 24/7 schedule to get that show loaded in.
It's insane. Everyone is rushing to finish everything.
Everything comes back to how much time will we have to get the creative ready for show day.
We always wish we have more time.
WTF.
While our main stage is being built, we actually replicated its dimensions in the next room over. That way our talent and our dancers could get used to their blocking and actually interacting with the holograms.
It's the first time that talent is working with the technology.
This was also the first time that our choreographers were getting to work with the local Parisian dancers.
It's the first time for a lot of things.
Seeing the True Damage crew practice the song together for the first time was kind of nerve-wracking. This was a group of artists that come from all over, that speak different languages. We didn't know how well they'd get along, how good their group chemistry would be.
It's really important that even in this small amount of time, that they learn how to work together really well.
They had to be in sync, and we only had a few days to get them there.
They never met each other?
In chronological order. So we're kind of gonna go.
What?
And so the more that we are interacting and we're moving in the same way at times, or at least have moments with the holograms, yeah, that's when like you really zoom out and you're like, oh man, this is like all working together.
Crazy. Visuals is next level. You know, I can't wait to be up there and see it come to fruition, come to life. You know, I'm excited. It's gonna be beautiful. Big vibe.
I'm very excited too.
First thought.
So we'll see. Ah! I guess speechless, because he was speechless. It's like nothing I've really ever done before, so I'm super hyped.
I feel like I need to like elevate my own like personal performance now. After all that.
All these millions.
You know, all that. I'm like, okay. I guess rapping on the mic ain't enough now.
all these months and months of planning, and the thing that we envisioned over these last 9 months finally comes to life.
2 and 3 and...
Every take we get more confident, more comfortable, but I feel excited. How you feel? I feel great, man. Everybody's professionals, you feel me? Everybody coming through, holding that thing down. Everybody got dance moves and stuff. We hit that thing, going crazy. Are you dancing too?
Once we get onto the main floor, that's where the chaos really begins.
We need to see so many things for the first time.
We had a lot of fears because we had a lot of things ongoing on stage.
Everything had to go perfect. If one thing went wrong, if a hologram breaks, if somebody misses their cue, if the lighting is off, the whole thing kind of breaks.
We needed to see the lighting interact with the holograms.
When and how can the holo come in and out? Will the projectors all work?
There was trouble getting the old technology to work with the new technology.
We needed to see the trunk open.
Turns out that it was more complicated than we expected it to be.
There's all of the challenges around broadcast. Do we like the camera angles?
There was content being worked on till the very last second.
There's 3 pieces of content we need to check. 3, 2, 1.
I think we're having trouble hitting the marks, and that's really crucial to the show right now.
Why does the spotlight come on when I'm already in my, 2 bars in?
First mark for 3rd chorus. Cool?
Is it weird that I'm not all the way over and then
It's alignment, it's not consensus, right? But okay.
Magic is show.
I think the toughest part this week has just been getting all the content done and making sure that it looks good and is scaled properly and is interacting with the human. Valerie sounds great, doesn't she? Oh my gosh.
Nerves are running high.
Time is running out.
I feel nervous.
There are so many things that we want to go right, but we can only push so far. If the hologram breaks, we don't have a solve for that. So we hope that the rest of the elements are able to help carry the show in some way.
Content is king. Right up till the very top, content is king.
No, you just got to keep revising until you can't anymore. Until literally they say stop turning stuff in, because the show is already over. We've got to stop.
What we see here is what we're going to get tomorrow. The show must go on.
Yikes. I always love that day to night transition. Very cool. Love those time lapses.
People are super excited. We know today's the day.
You can see and hear fans lining up outside of the building, and all of this is for them and their experience and their enjoyment. We're all very anxious.
Months of work are gonna show today. We know everything needs to work perfectly.
There's really no downtime before the show. We are working up until the countdown clock starts.
We're all having this underlying stress of, is this actually gonna work?
In the moments before the show, there's 100 different things that are going wrong.
They tried to open it, then it didn't open.
The trophy case didn't open when we got there in the morning. There were technical issues with it.
We didn't know if we were gonna be able to have that be a working element in our show. Everything that could go wrong with Kiana's ring the morning of the show was going wrong.
Projectors, let's check. But let's not hold doors.
HoloNets were getting unfocused because of the air conditioning in the room.
You know, the natural elements of the world.
Because they are cleaning the floor and they are super close to the screen right now.
No one anywhere near the screen, please.
You just have to accept that you're doing as much as you can, and whatever will happen, will happen.
Get away from the screen!
Back up!
Doors are open, pencils down, this is it.
Nothing more we can do. Here we go, this is the game.
And we're about to watch the last 6 months of our life's work unfold on a small screen. It's gonna be sick.
Gonna beat up Jin? It's gonna be good. Stop, Seth! Hi.
One chance. Of course I'm not anxious.
At this point, we've been working for 10 months for a 10-minute show.
And officially, we have to take our hands off the steering wheel.
It's completely out of our control, and all there is left to do is watch.
You know what's crazy? They went over a lot of things, but honestly, even as a videographer myself, I would be so nervous to just be doing my job right as a camera person. The show was incredible, and as we watched it, I didn't notice anything that went wrong.
No, I didn't either.
Is that first hologram instant.
It hits, and you hear the crowd's reaction.
That was a really, really special moment for us.
I'm I have goosebumps all over again.
Telling ourselves we knew this would work. Now we knew it worked.
Literally, I'm like, why am I like this? I'm crying. I'm like, why am I like this? I'm like, it's just so amazing that all this came together, and I appreciate it so much. I need a tissue.
There's the massive
What the hell?
graphic on the holo, and as much as I love everything about that performance, nailing that beat in the show was the one that mattered to me more than any other.
That was such a highly complex moment of the show.
And in rehearsal, we just hadn't gotten it.
It was better than we could have ever imagined.
At the end of True Damage, there's this momentary feeling of relief, like, oh, okay, we got through that. And then your brain kicks in and you're like, oh, there's the whole
Wait, we have one more.
We gotta
Yeah.
deal with it.
And the case!
As we're sitting there watching Phoenix, we know that this trophy case moment is coming up, and that's a huge beat in our show.
The day had started with the case not opening. You can't unveil a trophy if the box doesn't open. And I remember the Steadicam move starting to circle around the case, and I had 2 seconds that felt like 2 hours of panic that it actually wasn't going to happen.
You gotta open. You have to open.
That was the last big hurdle.
Like, as soon as whoever pressed the button, like, the relief.
Relief and catharsis, because that is effectively the last scary thing.
Oh my god!
Okay, so 2020 kickoff meeting, yeah?
Delivering something like the opening ceremony it's so hard to describe the pride you feel.
The reaction, it's showing that all those months are paying off.
We worked for so long and everyone finally got to see it, and then immediately kind of sad because it's over. We're gonna go home and get back to work.
Let's do it. The storm is over. It is now just enjoying a nice world championship.
Getting back into our normal routine, things feel a little bit quieter and a little bit slower for a while.
We have already begun planning what we're gonna be doing for this year's World Ceremony.
This is the 10th anniversary of competitive League of Legends, and we need a ceremony that's going to be as big as that moment should be.
I'm really most excited to explore what else is out there and what else we could bring to the show.
Engaging on these kinds of big creative questions is the high that we all want to keep chasing.
Music is a central force in our shows, and it's something that will stick with players forever. So I think we're going to carry that over into 2020.
We're excited about the future and all of the different ways we can make the next opening ceremony incredible.
The 2020 ceremony is gonna be awesome.
And then.
Well, yeah. I honestly, I'm just like, I'm such a big baby. Like, why would I be crying for this? That's so dumb. I honestly just like, I know how much work it takes to even put together a small production. I've been at my 6 years of business myself so far. I've been a part of all sorts of production sizes, and I've been part of a crew that had to put together a stage for it was a football game, a national football game, but basically it's like I have the experience of putting together just it seems like one little piece of a show, just putting together the stage and putting together the turf and all the technical pieces that have to come together. But honestly, so many people have to work in sync to put on something that is just, more than the sum of its parts.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
that show is just incredible. The final result is incredible, and the perseverance, right, and the tenacity and the willpower of all these people coming together obviously created something just beautiful. And it's just like I feel like I feel like when I saw that Diablo episode, and just like it's only a cinematic and I didn't get to see all the behind the scenes of, but it's like when my brain starts to think of all the things that came to make this beautiful thing, and I just start bawling my eyes up because I'm just like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, no, I totally agree that it's so true. When you and we both do this very often. Every time we see something like this, or like Don said, even the small cinematics, like we always think about everything that goes into them. And maybe it's because like it's the artist in us. I don't know, but we know that there's so much that goes into every single one of these things that they work on.
I'm just thinking of somebody's comment is like, "You are very empathetic," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a baby." No, we are. We're softies. For sure. It's I don't even know. It was just it was super cool, and um, you know, the this 22-minute video that shows the behind the scenes, the team, the editing team that put this together is also fantastic. Got to call them out too because that's what pulled on my heartstrings. It's not just seeing scenes on screen.
Yeah.
It's like everything from like how they laced in the music from it being like um how do I want to say like the actual song in this video, and then they like transition into you hearing the song in the live, like from the live area that we were watching,
Yeah.
from the stadium. But it was like a seamless transition, so I know how much work it went into the edit of this video as well, and I absolutely absolutely love and appreciate it because that's storytelling in its own. The presentation of this video is just fantastic.
Yeah, and it's so true. Like they did such a phenomenal job on their in their own right as well. Because like I mean, I felt nervous for them, and like we've already watched it, we know it went well, right? But I'm like, I felt nervous when they felt nervous. I felt excited when they felt excited. Like I said, I had goosebumps all over again. Like this was just such an incredible story, and it was told incredibly well.
How's the band gonna not meet each other till like what, a week before or something like that? I don't know when it was, but like I was just like, what? You got a whole music video with them and blah blah blah. They've all put in their parts. They don't know each other. I was like, what? Okay, good luck. Like, yeah, they're gonna vibe each other. Like, no fighting, y'all. No, yeah, no, there are so many nerve-wracking situations.
Yes.
That I swear, I'm like, man, I don't know how they all coped with this over the course of 10 months. I would be a nervous wreck, dude.
And like literally just sitting there behind the scenes, like,
yeah,
like just like chittering all my teeth or chittering all my nails all the way down. Like again, especially like when I remembered, I'm like, oh yeah, the box didn't open. Like,
you know, when they were talking about the box problems, I'm just like, so as nervous as all the, I guess, lead people. I'm gonna call them the lead people, the main people that we saw talking throughout the video consistently in their specific departments. But I know that all came down to some engineer, some really techie geeky nerd that had to put together this mechanical, or a team of mechanical geeky nerds that had to put together this thing. And I'm just like, whoever the person that fixed that, or persons that went in, they're like, oh, I see. It's actually this transistor on motherboard APB61. It's not doing what it needs to, you know what I mean? Like, whoever fixed that, like, oh my god, dude.
Seriously, yeah.
Like, oh my goodness. People are so smart, and I just love seeing people do their thing. I love seeing, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, literally could be anything. This is why I think I enjoy documentaries on random things.
Yeah.
Airplanes, tanks, anything. Cars, underwater, like, literally anything. I just love watching documentaries and learning, like, and so this behind the scenes was fantastic to get a glimpse of things that are new to me.
Yeah.
Like, the HoloNet technology. I will definitely be geeking out and teching out and nerding out on any information I can find on that, because that was just awesome.
Yes.
I would love to see even a deeper dive into the specific area of the performances. Like, I want to see more of the hollow screens on the stage or whatever, and how the dancers and performers had to move around them. They had to put a lot of information in this, and they could have made this an hour, and I would have watched it all.
The whole thing, yeah.
The whole thing,
easily.
and loved it. So,
yeah.
Wow. The performers did all a great job too.
Yeah. Yeah, again, there's just so many little pieces that had to come together to make this whole giant puzzle work, and like, just phenomenal.
Yes. So, I think that wraps it up for us. Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, you guys have to let us know what your favorite things were, where you were most nervous. If this made you emotional like it made me, because it's just larger than life. And I don't know. I guess that most like, what were the questions that you had about this? Like, what were you wondering the most, and did they answer your questions, or were things left out? And are you hoping that they were answered in future behind the scenes? I don't know if they did behind the scenes for 2020 and going forward, but hopefully they did, because I think that honestly adds so much to the story of how this all came together.
I think so too.
Perfect. So, as always, if you're liking our reactions to the world ceremonies, you want to join us for the next 3 of them, like, share, and subscribe, especially subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. All right, bye.
Bye.